Hey everybody, it's good to see you all again. This segment is just to kind of let you guys know what is going on in this episode. So, in this episode, there is a situation. Towards the end, or anywhere in this episode, there is a blank. That means there's no sound coming in the episode, and you might think that is your fault. That is my fault. You can blame me, say it was my fault, because that is an editing problem, and that's because of recording and the recording platform that I use. If that happens to be in the episode, if that's in it, what you need to do is to just disregard it. Don't worry about it. Consider it like an ad break. Consider it like a break. Consider it like we're taking a 5 minute break. Consider it like that. So no freaking out. No need to worry. Make sure you guys enjoy the episode. Enjoy what's in it. And y'all have a good one. And enjoy this one. Really enjoy it and have fun. And please disregard the blanks in there. Consider them breaks. Hope you guys enjoy this episode and thank you guys for understanding and for your cooperation.
Right, there we go. It's good to see you guys. I've been crunching these interviews for an entire week, so I am up and early in the morning. Y'all know how it is. Anyway, I'm here with Trungng slash Jeff. I'm super excited to be finally doing this. He was one of those people that had to reschedule a second time, so to finally be here, it's amazing. So welcome to wrap it up. I'm so happy to finally have you.
Thanks. I'm just happy to be here.
Awesome. So a question I wanted to go by, and on Instagram you haven't posted anything in like a year and a half. So I wanted to firstly ask, do you have anything in store for this year? Do you have anything planning? Do you have any new music on the way? What's going on with that?
So for the future, currently I'm trying to upload as many music that I try to produce as much as possible, like music that I want to release rather than working for other people. So that's what I'm trying to do in 2023.
Ah,
Yeah.
oh, well, I'm excited for more music from you. I'm really excited for that. And speaking of music, I did want to talk about the latest work you did, which I'm not even gonna try to pronounce, but it starts with "dong" in it. That was your last song that you put out. So, what was the creative process whenever it came to making that song, which was in 2021? So it's been a while. So how did that song come to life?
Which song again? Can you repeat?
Well, it starts with Dong. It starts with Dang, and then
Oh, okay. Yeah. So by far, that's the most streamed song I've had on my career. So the song came about during the COVID time. So the rapper Logi, I texted him the beat after I made it, and it was during COVID time, so we couldn't meet. And it turns out he's just like, okay, he's gonna make a song on that beat, and it's gonna be based on Christmas. The theme was Christmas, and he dropped it a few days before Christmas, and it was all sort of like all really natural. It was spontaneous, so I just enjoyed the process.
that's really great. Yeah, it's really cute, the Christmas vibe. I even love the picture you used. It's really adorable. Like I did, like that must have been taken like in real time. That's
Yeah.
really cool. It's really cool. Well, props to Lil G, and the song's definitely a bop. I mean, it's added on my Christmas playlist. It's literally added on my Christmas playlist. So I'll probably play it again in a couple months. So that's really cool. And another thing that I wanted to talk about um is the 21/9/22 session you did. Which was released in 2023, but it was a session you did with Lost in Space. So I definitely want to get into that. So how did the collab come to life? How did you meet Lost in Space, and how do you feel now that it's been released?
So first, Lost in Space. I met him during the COVID time as well. I met him when we were first started making beats together. I found him online. So he had like a very funny name. So I was like, "Oh, who is this kid?" And I just talked to him, and we talked ever since until now. And for the session that we uploaded, it was just one of the beats that we made on a random day. We usually like have a session every week during the summer, and that night when we made that session, it was something a little bit different than other things that we did with previously. So we just wanted to release it out. It was just something very spontaneously like that.
Oh, you gotta love spontaneous. You gotta love being spontaneous.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really cool. To be honest, I only listened to 20 seconds of it because I was between working and I was busy. But within the 20 seconds I listened to it, it was actually really cool and it's a bop. And again, congrats on the other song we talked about. It has over 1 million streams, so that is extraordinary. That is crazy. I mean, you gotta feel really good about that to have over 1 million streams on a song you made. I mean, that is insane.
Well, not really. At first, it feels amazing, of course, but over time, I started to feel a little bit of a pressure to kind of go beyond 1 million, kind of keep going, keep going. It's kind of it's it's grateful. It's a good feeling, but it's also a pressure as well.
Ah, I see. Also, you're one of those. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. You're one of those that has to keep getting better every time. I totally
Yeah.
get that. 100%. I mean, that is a lot of people though. To be honest, when they have success and they just want more and more success. So yeah, I totally get that for sure, and that's totally understandable too. So, I definitely want to also ask about your methods of collaborating because I did read on and see that you have worked with a lot of different people. Amongst a lot of people, KZ, D Kid, The Saint, Teddy J, Richie, the Icy, Oscar, Prophet, uh, Left Hand. So, how do you get in contact with people? And what's your whole method with collaborating and getting projects together?
Well, first, to me, the process of collaborating is just mainly to be natural, to be kind of like heart to heart, not trying to force anything out of it, but mostly with all of the connections that I had. I try to establish it through texting first. I usually just text them. I was like, okay, I like your music, and I think my music will fit you too. And so we just talk, and then we talk online, and we meet in real life. And then it was just most people, I met them through texting online, but then other people, they say, "Oh, I have this other guy who's making music too," and then it was just one to another. So that's mostly how it works. But 90% of the time, it was very natural. It wasn't forced. I don't try to force people to try to work with me or anything like that.
Oh, I like that. I like that you
Yeah.
really go in and you know you don't stress about it too much. That's really good. And do you have a favorite collaboration, or are they all really special to you?
Um, for most of the artists I've worked with, I appreciate all of them, but there are a few that I work a lot for a long time. Um, there's this guy, Tosca. He's one of my favorite artists, and we worked ever since we've known each other. We started making music, so
Oh, well,
yeah,
I gotta check him out though. I mean, if it's your favorite collab, I mean, I gotta check him out.
yeah. He released like a few albums in the past few years, and I've worked on it, and his music is actually really good.
Mmm, really interesting. I'm a definitely for sure check it out. Sure. And another thing that I wanted to highlight, of course, is also on your Instagram. So I know that you are a charting producer, um, which is really amazing. You entered the top 50 Vietnam charts, and you also went into the top five YouTube trending. A lot of the songs I know you were charting with "Sucker for Love" and with a collab with Two Spills and Pretty X XIX. So how does it feel to go trending? I mean, that's really amazing. Congrats on entering charts and all. Like, how does it feel to actually be charting and to be trending?
First, thank you for that. Well, for most of the work, it to me it feels, of course, it feels nice. I feel appreciated for the work that I've done, but I try not to think much about it because I feel like the more I think about how good the song is performing, or I think too much about the result, I will, kind of get a little bit of like lazy. Like, for example, if I were to think that okay, this song is doing well and I'm actually doing good, the more I think that I'm actually well performing, I will perform worse. It's kind of like a mentality like that. I try not to think much about it. Okay, if a song release, then it is out there, and I keep working on the next one.
Nah, that's brilliant. I love how you use every success as a push. That's actually really mature, and that's actually really fantastic that you use it as a drive. And that's always been the method. Like every time that you get success in anything, you push.
Yeah, it's just try to. I try not to think much about anything. I just keep going until maybe sometime I need a break. I will have a break, but most of the time I just keep going and don't try to think much about it.
Definitely, definitely, 100%, definitely. And another thing that I did um want to talk about was that you were actually, to find out, you were a guest speaker on Spotify's workshop. So, how did that come together?
So for that Spotify workshop, it was first of all, it was one of my friends. I am a friend of someone who worked in there. So and he know me and my work as well. So he was like, okay, we are hosting a workshop showing how artists can utilize Spotify more, and he wanted a perspective of a producer. So he was asking me that if I'm willing to do the workshop, and I was up for it. It wasn't much of anything, but it was a good experience to talk to the people there.
What nice. That's really cool. That's a really, really fantastic opportunity to work with Spotify. I mean, that's huge. That's big time working with Spotify and actually doing a workshop. I mean, that is fantastic. Congrats on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. And the other song that was charting, found out that it landed on a TV show, and actually found out that you actually had a TikTok trend. So that is even more crazy. I mean, do you use TikTok, or you just like let TikTok like run its course with whatever music that you have?
Um, I don't use TikTok. I try not to browse the internet as much as possible because I feel like when I'm just browsing through it, I feel a bit wasting my time. I feel like I'm wasting my time. But about the TikTok trend, it was it was very spontaneous. It was all very natural and organic. I had the demo of the beat made, and I sent it to Richie the Icy, who was doing the dance in the TikTok, and he really liked the beat, and he was just making a video of him dancing to the beat, and he uploaded it on TikTok, and somehow it had a lot of views, and it started to become a trend. I wasn't really aware of the trend until my friends started sending me messages of like, oh, how is this popping up on my feed? And I was like, okay, I made that. It was all very organic. I didn't really know of the trend.
Oh, so now spontaneous. That's crazy. It looks like a lot of these experiences were very much spontaneous. So that's beyond amazing.
Yeah.
and 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 I do want to get into my music. I mean, we could talk about all the other accomplishments, but that would be cocky of me. So I do want to seriously though get into your role as a music producer. So I want to firstly get into the whole life of a producer. So what is the life of a producer like?
Well, for the most part, the life of a producer to me, my life mostly involves sitting at home making beats. I don't like to go out a lot, but when the time comes, you gotta go to studios and you gotta meet people. So sometimes it can get a little bit busy. You can go around in a city with a laptop, but for the most part, I just prefer to stay at home and making beats.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, but sometimes you can get quite busy, but for the most part, it's just staying at home.
Right, right. Definitely, I feel that for sure. And since you do do a lot of your work at homes, do you have a home studio or do you do everything like on your phone or on a computer? Like, what's your setup? Like.
I do have a home studio in my hometown, but I'm not in my hometown right now, so I'm actually away from the studio. But it's a change, and because I usually prefer to do things just with a laptop. But at my home studio, I have monitors, I have microphones. It can improve my productivity, but sometimes just having minimal things like a laptop, it can sometimes even be better than having multiple things like microphone and monitors, something like that.
Very valid point. Very valid point for sure. Yeah, I totally get. I totally get. You have to be near all that. But yeah, that's cool. Now I did want to go more in depth with your equipment. So, what equipment do you use whenever you're making beats? And what software do you like to use?
For software, I'm currently using FL Studio, and when I'm mixing and mastering for my songs, I use Pro Tools. For the equipment, uh, for monitors, I use the Yamaha. Those are really good monitors, and for the audio interface, I use the Focusrite 4i4. Those are all really like really home studio setups, but they work really well.
Uh, I see. Well, I see
Yeah,
FL Studio is like a really popular one. Almost everybody uses it, so that's understandable.
yeah.
That's not understandable. Yeah. Um, I like the whale on your Instagram. Is that your favorite animal?
What?
Like on your Instagram, I see the little whale emoji by your name. Is that your favorite animal? You just decided to like pick it.
No. It was something very random. I just picked the whale because I like it, but it's not my favorite animal.
Oh, what?
Do you like the whale?
Um, I like it, but like again, it's not my favorite. What is your favorite anyway?
My favorite is the dog. I have a dog too.
Oh, that's really cute. That's adorable.
Yeah.
That's adorable. And 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 I definitely want to get into your music experience. I do want to definitely know how you got into music. Because I do want to see because you are based in Vietnam, so I do want to get into how did music come to you? Because I had no idea that Vietnam was even a music environment. The only times that I ever heard of Vietnam was in history class, and they would talk about all the different wars with Vietnam's.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand.
But how did music?
Well, um, to me, music came to me because during my secondary in my high school years, during my high school year, I was listening to a lot of electronic music, like Skrillex and all those EDM tracks, and I wanted to follow their footsteps. I wanted to make something like electronic dance music, so I installed FL Studio because my cousin told me to. And when I installed FL Studio, I couldn't do electronic music because it was actually really difficult. So I turned to making rap beats. And during that time, I also listened to a lot of hip hop as well. So I started to like hip hop more than electronic music. That's how it started.
Oh, wow, that's actually really really amazing. And is EDM music like your main genre, or do you dabble in other ones?
No, I mainly do hip hop music. Yeah, sometimes I do a little bit of R&B and pop music, but I don't know how to do electronic music.
Ah, it was just one of those you like listening to.
Yeah,
That's everyone, to be honest. I mean, you can't go wrong with EDM music. You
yeah,
definitely can't go wrong with that. But yeah, that's really that's to be honest, I'm a little shocked because I didn't even know music could happen in the country that you were, from. I mean, was music even mainstream like where you're from, or did it become mainstream when you like began moving and such?
Uh, what do you mean, like music becoming
I mean,
mainstream?
I'm trying to reframe that question. I mean, is there any music in Vietnam? Is music really, mainstream? Did people make music where you're at, or was music more, I guess, more accessible when you moved and such?
Well, not really, because music is everywhere. Music is globally. Of course, there are a lot of amazing artists here in Vietnam. Probably, they are not big as global artists like Michael Jackson, something like that, of course. But there are a lot of talented artists in my country, and of course, there are some artists that are mainstream, are really out there. But yeah, it just always has been.
Oh, okay. And the reason why I wanted to touch was just
Yeah,
because you're probably the first Vietnam artist to be on here, so I wanted to get a little to get the vibe of exactly the music scene down there. But you did about music is global,
um,
and I mean there is a Vietnam chart, so I guess there has to be like a lot of music going on for them to have an official chart.
yeah.
So well, I guess that's the first time for everything. Definitely. Let's see. And I do want to talk about the name actually. How did the artist name come to be? Because I refer to you both because Jeff is actually your English name. So I did want to get into how did you get your artist name?
Well, my artist name, it started from me doing YouTube. So, like, most producers, when they sell beats online, they have like a type beat store. So I started doing so, and I just really wanted the name so I can put it on my YouTube channel. So I took my first name, which is the Trung, and then I added with my last name, the first two letters of my last name, and I combined it together. So yeah, it was really like I wanted a name. It was just something I wanted to get it done, not something that I put much effort into it. But later on I wanted to change my name, but it wasn't really much of a task that I have to constantly think about. So later on, when it came onto Spotify and other platforms that it la it was getting difficult to change, that I was like, okay, I can just go with his name. But it was something very spontaneous and something very personal to me too, because it was the first name and my last name combined together.
Oh, well, I'm actually glad you picked it. It's a very rare name. I mean, obviously, if I saw you somewhere, if I saw you somewhere, I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Yep, that's him." Like, that's him. All right. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a really cool name actually, and it's even fun to say when you try and say it. Like, I had a whole laugh and ball trying to say your name for like 10 minutes straight. It was funny. Luckily, you didn't see me.
It's
Luckily, you
alright.
didn't see me trying, but it was fun.
Yeah, I get that.
Really?
Yeah, it's even difficult to say in my country, but it's all right.
Well, that is too ironic. That's funny. Like you're all answer the name. That is. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be able to get over that. That's funny. Sorry. I need to get back. Um, now another thing that I wanted to talk about was um the news outlets. So I know you've been on Genius and Rap Zone, and different kind of platforms like that. So I definitely want to get into that being on the news outlets. So again, how did those come? But really, the main question is, I mean, how do you feel about being promoted by different people? I mean, are you much of a promotion guy, or are you more of a sit back and let the music, go where it needs to go, or you know, what? How do you go about the
Yeah,
news outlets, even stuff like this, like what we're doing?
yeah. I think any promotion is good promotion, whether you have like one person sharing your music on their personal profile, it's still a good promotion. So for when I first started making music, I get my songs done and I will send it to as many pages as possible, even if they have like 100 likes. And I will send them out as much as possible. And if they are willing to share the music, then yeah, that I appreciate it. So I any promotion is a good promotion to me, and I try to just get my name out there as much as possible.
Definitely. And I totally get that about promotion. I mean, everybody needs promotion from time to time. So yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah,
Definitely, and that's really great. You got to be on those new outlets. I mean, obviously they've made such a huge impact. I mean, you have over 50,000 monthly listens, so those outlets, they really impact you. It's crazy.
yeah. At first, of course, I have to take the initial. I have to send them my music, but over time, sometimes I work with other artists and the news outlet, they notice it and they share it themselves. I don't have to text it to them and say, "Oh, can you share my song?" So it depends. Like for example, if I'm working on a song that is not getting a lot of engagement, and I have to send them out previously. But if the song is getting a lot of engagement, then they would just share themselves. So it's kind of goes it goes both ways.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now I'm hearing back. But yeah. Now you've been in the industry for a while, so I definitely wanna. I'm excited to ask this too. So, when you first started, releasing music, or when you started, making beats in the very beginning of, your career, I mean, how did it feel when you were first out there? When people first, knew who you was? Like, like, how did you feel about that, and how impactful was that?
Oh yeah. It was really difficult because I've never been like the guy in front of the camera. I'm always shy when somebody raises their phone on me, even though I don't get that a lot. But it's just it's different. It's actually a lot different than what I'm used to. So I just kind of get used to it. It's part of the process. So it's part of the job as well. So just try to get used to it.
Right, right, absolutely, absolutely, and I totally get about the whole shy aspect, which is actually a perfect segue into my next question that I wanted to run by. So, and this is another heavy one that what are some of the challenges that you go through? As a producer, what are the biggest challenges, or the most positive experiences that you have ever gone through?
Well, for me, probably the biggest challenge was just trying to get songs done to me because when I first started making music, a lot of the artists that I work with, I understand that some of them don't want to take music seriously. So I understand that, but sometimes it gets in the way of what I'm trying to do. So it was difficult just to get songs done and being happy with the songs. And that was the biggest challenge to me, getting my beats out there, getting the songs done, and making sure that the song is getting listened by people. That was the most difficult to me.
Oh, oh yeah, that must have been really hard.
Yeah. Uh, Yeah. And what was the second
It
question
was an
again?
or question. I was asking like if you didn't have any like challenges, you could have also said your most positive. But that was totally up to you.
Oh, yeah. The positive. Let me think. I think the most positive to me is the people I've met. I think because I don't have a lot of friends in school, that's to be honest. But when I started making music, I talked to a lot of the people that have the same interests as me. Most of them are older than me, but with music being a common topic, we shared a lot, and I've made a lot of friends since then. So that's probably the most positive thing that can come from me making music. I've made a lot of friends since then.
Oh, that's really wow. Now
Yeah.
that I actually am not surprised about the no friends saying no offense, but that's great that collaboration connection to people was the most positive. That's really fantastic, and it's really great that you find happiness in that. Definitely, for sure. And I definitely wanted to talk about the about your catalog. So, in your own words, how would you describe the change and flexibility of the different sounds that you do with every track you do?
Okay, that's a hard question. But I think I think when I first make when I first started making music, the sounds I use are a bit more harsh, or a bit more aggressive than now. I would think so. Like back when I first started making music, I tried to make a lot of aggressive music and a lot of really, you know, turn up hip hop songs. But I don't try. But nowadays, I don't do those type of songs that often anymore. So I think that's a change in my music. I kind of toned it down a little. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's the biggest change I
Oh,
noticed.
and toning it down. What do you mean by toning it down?
Like for example, when I first started making music, the first song I've ever released under my own name as me as the main artist, it was a like the song called Role Models, and it was a really aggressive and fast paced hip hop song. But nowadays, I the music that I'm currently making is it's a bit more joyful. It's kind of a bit more melodic like that. It's it's not as aggressive as back then. It's more kind of like R&B ish rather than hip hop songs now. Back then,
Oh, okay, okay. That
yeah, yeah, like the vibe in the music, like the vibe in the
Oh, the
music.
vibe changes. That makes a lot of sense, definitely.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like back then, back when I first started making music, things would be more aggressive, but nowadays it's a bit more soft. It's just kind of like that, the
And
vibe.
you enjoy the vibe of the music right now?
Yeah, yeah, I prefer it a lot more. It's just kind of like it kind of goes with how my life is going. So yeah, it's just kind of like that. I don't know what the future will be. I don't know what kind of music I will make in the future, but it is right now.
Interesting points. And speaking about personal, so what is your personal life like? And before you answer, I you don't have to say everything about it, just the whole gist of your personal life, and how do you balance, living your normal life and having this career alongside it?
Yeah. So I'm currently a college student. I'm studying. I'm in university right now. So I started making music when I was in high school. So I'm kind of used to balancing between school and music. I'm used to it, but now in college I have a bit more room to do music. So in general, it was kind of like a double life really. Uh, I spend my morning at school, going to class, and then at night sometimes I go outside and make music, or sometimes I just stay at home to make music. It was really just like that most of the
Oh,
time.
and wow, okay. Well, that's crazy. You can get used to that. There's some people that's been doing it for over 5 years and they still are not used to it. So that's really impressive that you gotten used to it. And like, I guess what is the hardest thing with having when you're dealing with a double life? I mean, what is the hardest thing that you deal with whenever you're having the double life and you're going through your personal life and your music? I mean, what's the hardest thing about that?
I think the hardest thing is to not get distracted. Like when I have an assignment of school, like school has an assignment for me. Sometimes I might be opening my computer to do the assignment, but I remember that I have a song that I haven't finished, and then I do the song, and then it turns out that I haven't do the assignment that I got assigned to. It was the most difficult at like not getting distracted. Okay, I have time to do school assignments. I should get it done. I have time to do music in the evening. I should get it done in the evening. Just having a time and a place for everything.
Exactly, a time and place for everything.
Yeah. It gets a bit difficult, but once you
Right,
get used to
right.
it.
And I know it's a little bit of a kind of funny question, but have you ever failed an assignment while also, dealing with making music, or have you ever missed a deadline because of school?
Yeah. Uh, well, not right now. I haven't missed any assignment in college yet, but back when in high school, I failed a lot of my test exams because I was too busy doing music, and my parents got mad a lot. But I I know the consequences, so I just do it. But yeah, if I could go back, I would just have focused on school a bit more and just having a time and a place for both music and school. But yeah, I did get a lot of bad grades because I was focusing
Ah,
on doing music.
wow. That's apparently.
It was not easy.
That's cool though. And another thing, so like, did your parents or did your friends know that you were doing music in the early stages?
No, of course no, because my of course my parents wanted me to focus on school and go to good colleges. That's what all parents want. But when I first started making music, it was just a hobby. I didn't really focus on, making a career out of it. Not even now though. But yeah, they did. They were telling me if I were to do music, I should um only keep it as a hobby and focus a little bit more in school. But I let music consume me too much, I
Oh, so
guess.
your parents are one of those people. Okay, okay. Now,
Yeah.
actually,
Of
you are
course.
not
All
wrong about that.
parents are
All
like that, I
parents,
guess.
unless the parents were musicians themselves, they're always gonna say to have music as a hobby. I mean, I feel like that's a norm for life now.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
people
yeah,
when
yeah.
people start doing music so young, parents are like so against it. Like it's right. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's
And
understandable though.
but I am glad that you actually, regardless of what they say, you push through and you let music take you whole, and now you're doing it while you're in college. I mean, and doing all this like imagine if your young self could see the future and your parents could see the success you have right now. Wouldn't they be like, we should have said yes, we should have said.
Well, they haven't, like, right now they aren't exactly saying yes. Up till now they aren't exactly saying that okay, I will let you do music for the rest of your life. And even I don't want to do music for the rest of my life either. But I think it's understandable that they want me to focus on other things that are more stable. So I agree and
Ah,
I
now
understand
circling
their
back, you
points.
said you don't want to do music for the rest of your life. So what are you planning on doing? After you complete whatever you're doing with music. I mean, what are you planning?
Um, I I don't want to perform music for the rest of my life, but I want to do things that are related to music for the rest of my life. Like for example, I want to be a bit more of like a management position. Like if possible, I want to, you know, maybe starting a business or doing something a bit more different rather than performing music. But but it
Yes,
relates to
yes,
music,
absolutely.
if you know what I
And
mean.
it's very mature that you want to keep going and that you want to eventually get to like a manager position. That's actually really fantastic, actually, because I would love to see you manage artists and be on a record label, which you're not signed right now, are you?
No, I'm not signed.
Okay.
I'm
But
still
yeah, I
an
would definitely
individual.
love to see you manage artists. I mean, and maybe even later on in life, like have your own record label. And I'm hoping you do not forget this moment in life and forget me because I would, to be honest, I'd be crying if I heard that you made a record label. I'd be like, interviewed him and now he has a record label. Like, oh. Like,
Like not really like a record label would be my focus, but in college I'm studying business right now. I'm studying business management. So I wanted to kind of do music and something about business later on. It could be something different to music,
oh, you're taking
but
that
it's just what
direction,
I have in
yeah.
mind.
That is important to the business. I think every artist should, well,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
every,
yeah.
but I feel like most artists should definitely get definitely get a business degree. Usually for us, I don't know how degrees work where you're at, but for us, I really recommend to get an MBA, which is a master's in business administration. I usually, whenever I meet people outside, I usually tell them, to get that as a plus, to working possibility whenever you're starting business. So definitely.
Yeah, yeah. It's to me it's better to have like two options rather than one. So, it will be a lot safer because I don't think I can do music that long either. So it's just better
100%,
to
and
have
I
a
and
second option.
that's always the best option to have a second choice. Usually, my thing is to have a backup plan. I usually always say a backup plan because you never know. I mean, nobody can
Yeah.
trend forever. I mean, eventually, I mean, some people eventually have a fallout. If you don't have a degree or if you don't have a plan in
Yeah.
action, to back up, I mean, you basically hit a brick wall, basically. But yeah, I'm really,
Yeah.
really, really happy that you've taken a mature direction. And that's really important to have as an artist to take a mature direction. So definitely, for sure. I'm glad that you're able to balance college and music, and yeah, you're basically the definition of having it all. You're basically the definition of having it all. Well, it's an expression. Having
What
it
do
all
you mean
means
by
that you
having it
have like
all?
everything locked in. You can do so many things at the same time. So um, that's what I mean by having it all. But yeah,
Okay.
now you're looking back, and this may be a similar question as before, but looking back at the many success that you had, um, do you ever look back and you wish something was different, or are you completely satisfied with what has happened in your music career, and you only want better, and more things coming up?
Um, there are not many things that I don't try to regret many things because I feel like even though there were some embarrassing moments, but I feel like it was essential for me to learn. But if I could go back, then I would tell myself um to know how to communicate more, how to talk more, how to talk to people that I just
Uh,
met. It's kind of like that. But I don't try to have many
Definitely,
regrets.
yeah, and I'm glad you don't. To be honest, I'm glad that you're I'm glad that you are happy with what has happened and you're
Yeah.
using it, as growth and development. So that's again, that's very mature. That's definitely very, very mature. And I also didn't know this too that you actually worked with Prophet on in the Mandela Effect album. So that was really like I've heard of him on and off, but I had no idea you actually like work with him. I mean, You probably got that collaboration going by just texting him. Like I'm like really? Then
No, 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 not really, not really. Uh, yeah. I when I first started uploading beats on YouTube, one night I remember, I still remember I woke up in the morning and I saw an Instagram notification, and it turns out he made a video freestyling on my beat. And it was the first time anybody has freestyled on my beat. And I texted him. I was like, okay, I really like your freestyle. We should, have more things keep going together. And that's how it started.
also he found
He
you
found
first,
me
and then
first,
y'all got a
actually.
collaboration going. Oh, also a
Yeah,
collaboration
yeah,
varies between each person. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely. And
yeah,
oh my god, my brain is fried right now. But yeah, I gotta listen to his music again. I haven't listened to him in a very long time, so I am definitely gonna go back. Now, I did. Now, I had heard also with global artists. So what has been your experience? Working with other global artists that's not from your country. I mean, that must be a lot working with somebody completely different.
yeah. I think mostly it was the difference in time zone. I couldn't meet them. I couldn't talk to them, even if we wanted to call, because the difference in time zones. I think that's the most difficult part. But most of the work that I've done globally, it was like the guys that I work with. They're really productive, and they know how to kind of block out that difference in the time zone. They text me and they voice me messages and they send me demos so that I don't have to do anything. I just have to listen to it. So yeah, the guys that I've worked with, they are really proactive and they understand how to minimize that time zone risk.
Wow.
So yeah,
Yeah, definitely. And you've never had any trouble with,
you know what I mean.
managing through their time zones and getting deadlines? Like, that's never been an issue for you?
Um, not really. They it was just like a 12-hour delay in messages, but they always notify me I'm releasing the song on this day, and I still have a amount of time to reply to them to tell them that if I want to release on that day as well. So it was difficult, but it wasn't
Oh,
really much of a deal.
I see. And I also love how you keep everything on the down low. I mean, I wish that I could be as chill as you are when it comes to things like that. I would freak out every time those things come up. So it's crazy how you've built, like a tolerance system. I mean, that is that's really really impressive.
What do you
Well, hold on.
what do you mean
I just
freak out
mean
when
like you just take
those
everything
things
in a
come up?
positive way and it builds you up. If I've gotten those opportunities like the ones you've gotten, I would definitely like freak out, but in a good way. I would freak out. I would just like, I mean, you just take it and you just run with it and you just like
Oh
keep
yeah,
going, and that's really impressive. Definitely, definitely. And I
yeah.
could
Thank
really
you.
rant on about your success, but again, I'd be cocky, so I'm not going to. Instead, I just let's to be honest with you, I'm really glad that you were my first interview. Because I'm gonna be honest, I had eight scheduled today, so I was like, oh my god, how am I gonna get through all this?
Oh, okay.
But I'm really really glad though that we did get time to talk. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm really insanely impressed by by everything that's happened to you, and I'm really happy that we actually got to talk, that we actually got to dive deep into your music life and your personal life, and you know the whole side of producing. So I wanted to say a major thank you for being here, and for agreeing to be here, and for being so understanding. So again, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Definitely,
thank you too.
definitely.
Thanks for having me.
And have you done stuff like this before? During things like this. Yeah.
Like a podcast, like an interview or something like that. Uh,
Okay. Well,
Not
I
many,
really
but
hope you
just a
do get
few.
more like this because I definitely had a fun time, and I'm sure others will too. I'm pretty sure. So again, thank you. And did you and I know there's a lot of different producers listening, so I really want to know, like, what advice would you give them, with them aspiring to be, a producer in this industry? What advice would you give them?
Uh, Probably to work on something, like to do something every day. Like I think that's one of the best advice I've ever gotten. Um, like for example, if you want to become a music producer or if you want to get a good score in the exam, every day you have to do something to get one step closer to it. Like even if it is a small thing, even if it's a big thing, then it still matters. I feel like that's what
Right,
I'm
right,
trying to be.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that with us. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys got to learn, a lot about, um, Trungng, Trungng / Jeff. You can check him out everywhere. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce his name, so I'm just gonna say this. I have I provided links down below for y'all's convenience if you guys ever want to contact him or check him out. I suggest y'all do. Y'all definitely should. And again, thank you so much for doing this, and thank you guys so much for watching. Now, if y'all will excuse me, I actually have to get planning, but I will see you all on the next interviews I do, and enjoy the rest of your day, or enjoy the rest of your night. Um, Again, time zones really annoy me, so.
All
But anyway, I hope you all overall
right.
enjoyed this. And there'll be more to come. I'm pretty sure he'll be back very soon once he releases more music, so I'm looking forward to it. Until next time, I'll see you guys soon, and love y'all. Peace out.